Hi, this is Nitesh from ExcelWiz. So today I want to record a video on a particular function or a group of functions in relation to rounding off. So rounding off can be either you want to round something down, you want to round something up, or just round off to the nearest digit or a decimal place. So yeah, this can be very useful when it comes to, for example, creating if you want to create a file where decimal places might not make sense, or maybe they are not very relevant. In fact, some of the files even force you to remove decimal places when you are importing them to a certain system. So this can be a very particular function. And yes, I'm not going to talk about this where you are just hiding off the decimals. For example, here you can easily hide off the decimals, but that doesn't mean the number is actually rounded. So for example, you might get some funny results if you do something like this, 33.334, and then you sum it. So this one will actually make sense as it is, but then if you try to hide the if you try to hide the decimals, it will not make sense, because in the back end it still has the third decimal place. So how do you do round off? So I'm going to talk about three functions. So there is the round function, there is the round down function, and the round up function. I still don't know what the m round does, so maybe in one of the future videos. So sorry about that. So for example, if you want to round up this 33.334, let me bring it to the original state first before we proceed. So if you want to round this to the, let's say, nearest whole number. So the whole number you usually start with, you select the number. The syntax is very simple. You select the formula, the number which you want to manipulate, and how many digits you want to keep. So for example, if you want to round it off to the nearest whole number, you simply put 0, and there you go, it will be rounded off to the nearest whole number. So it's actually 33 instead of 33.334. If you want to round it off to, let's say, to two decimal places, once again it's very simple. You use the same formula and keep 2 as your digits, so it will round off to the nearest 2 digits. So for example, here if we had 55.55, it will 555, it will round it up to 55.56. And then let's say if you have a huge number like 34, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you want to round this up to the nearest 10 or 100, then instead of keeping a positive number here, you just keep a negative number, and it will round off to the nearest 100. So instead of 345 678, it will show you 345 700. So yes, the syntax is very simple. All it requires is the name of the function, you reference it to the cell which you want to manipulate, and how many digits you want to go about. So now let's talk about the other two functions, the round up and the round down, which work in a very similar way, but in this case it will actually force, for example, it will round up will actually force the number to be rounded up instead of to be rounded off to the nearest digit. So in this case, if we round this up to the whole number, it will come as 34 instead of 33, which the round function would have done. And then of course there is the round down function, which does the opposite of the round up. It forcefully rounds a number down to the nearest. So round down. Syntax is once again the same. You select the number and the number of digits which you want to round off. So in this case, let's do 2. So this will give you a similar result as round down, but let's say if you had 33.99999, it will still round it down to 33.99 instead of rounding off to 34. So yes, I hope this video was useful. I will also upload an exercise file for you in the link which you can try it out. Thanks, and don't forget to follow and subscribe.